I want y'all to follow along with me for a second here. I'm going to get to a point, but I'm going to take a roundabout way to get there. Okay. My day job is as a software tester. Some of you don't know what that is. Okay, fine. But let's say that my day job as a software tester requires a mixing of skills, a combination of skills. It requires some skill as a technical writer, let's say some skill as a writer, and some skills as a programmer or developer. But testing, software testing, is still its own discipline. It also may involve some skill in computer networking or computer hardware. You know, maybe even a little bit of skill in computer security. Sometimes even some project management skills. But overall, it applies as its own discipline. It's applied as its own discipline of testing. Okay. So, and I work in IT. So, if I see someone whose IT skill is just as a tech writer, they primarily do writing, should I judge them because they can't test as well as I can? They can't do my function as software tester as well as I do, because they primarily focus on technical writing. So if I were to compare myself against them and say I'm a better tester than they are, am I proving anything? No. Let's take it over to the developer. The developer, when people think of developer, that's primarily a computer programmer. So if I say that my skill as a software tester is better than a developer's skill at testing, so testing is my main thing. So if I test better than a programmer or a developer does, am I proving anything? Now, if I were to go up against that developer and just program, even though my field has some programming in it, but it doesn't do programming all the time. If I were to go code line for line, bit of code for bit of code, me versus the developer, I will lose, right? The developer is going to be better at writing programs than me, even though I test computer programs. The developer is going to be better at writing computer programs than me, right? But that developer is not going to be better at testing computer programs than me. So am I proving something by saying that I'm better at testing than a developer? No, I'm not. Even though my discipline requires a mix of skills that other people have, I'm still not going to be better at other people's discipline than I'm going to be at my discipline. I shouldn't expect them to be able to beat me at my discipline. So if I go around bragging about how I test better than people who are not testers, I'm not proving anything because they're not testers. Even though my discipline as a tester borrows from a bunch of other disciplines to create my discipline. So let's move this over to martial arts. If I'm an MMA fighter, and my thing is MMA, what do I prove saying that I could beat up a boxer in MMA? Even though there is some boxing in MMA, but it's not a primarily boxing discipline. So if I do an MMA and beat up a boxer at MMA, do I prove that I'm better than the MMA at fighting? I mean, at the boxer at fighting? No. I don't prove anything. I'm making that person come over to where I'm comfortable and fighting by my rules. So, okay, so let's say at Taekwondo, right? I go out there and go up against Mike Tyson in Taekwondo. I'm not even going to say at ITF Taekwondo where he could use his hands. At WTF Taekwondo, which I technically do have rank in. I technically have a second degree in WTF. It's on the certificate. So, if I go against Mike Tyson at a kicking only point match, he can't use his hands, just his feet, right? And I'm pretty good with my feet, even though my feet, to me, ain't what they used to be, but I'm still good with them. And I beat him. Do I prove that I'm better than Mike Tyson? I only prove that I'm better at him at Taekwondo. So it doesn't really prove anything. Let's take Mike Tyson again. I have a black belt in judo. So if I go against Mike Tyson at judo, okay, I don't know if Tyson studied judo on the side or anything like that. I don't know that. We're going to assume that he hasn't, because there wouldn't be any point to him to do that other than for fight geekdom, because he's rich. So if I beat a boxer at judo, what do I prove besides that I'm better at the boxer at judo? So when an MMA champion says that they can beat boxers at MMA, what are they proving? Nothing. If an MMA champion, by MMA rules, goes against a Taekwondo champion in an MMA match, are they really proving anything? No. So what are you really proving if you say that other people who don't do your job are not as good at your job as you are? What does it prove?